Okay, episode 12.
12. Okay, wait.
Episode
keep
12.
going. Episode 12.
CouchTalk. So guys,
This is about relationships.
relationships, man.
This is a big topic.
Dude,
Jeez.
you're telling
This is
me.
where the big
When was your last relationship? Like, I mean,
about
serious relationship.
Oh, serious.
Like, what's a serious relationship?
What is it? I don't think I had one. Then.
Really? You've never had a serious relationship?
I never got married for 8 years.
Yeah, but
That's what you're gonna ask.
come on, what are you talking
No,
about?
it's like
Look.
I'm not very good. That's why we're talking about this.
Okay.
Because you have had the most experience.
Yeah, well, I had one relationship that lasted 8 years, which,
that's pretty good.
you know, 4 years of marriage and 4 years living with us, so it was 8 years in total.
Wow.
But, you know, that doesn't mean that you didn't have serious relationships.
Yeah. Could just be very
Shorter, because you're just more efficient.
Yeah, that's it.
But would you say you've fallen in love?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, right.
Of course, that's the main thing.
Yeah. And would you say during those relationships the honeymoon period kind of ended?
For this one, yeah, I think it ended very quickly.
Okay. And what about the one before that?
Yeah, and quickly as well.
Right.
No, it wasn't because I wanted to end it. It's just
Yeah, right.
yeah, circumstances happened and
Things changed.
Things change.
So, I guess this is why the topic came up, because I did speed dating the other day, and you guys always think I'm putting myself out there a lot.
A lot, yeah.
And I do. Like, I put myself on Tinder. I'm on Plenty of Fish.
Oh yeah, you're like spreading your wings.
Spreading my wings. Look, it's been 8 years I was in a relationship, and you know, it's for the last 18 months I've been dating, and it's beautiful. It's amazing, and there's a whole new world. Every new person I meet, every new woman is a different world for me to explore, and their minds and their hearts and, of course, their bodies. But I think it's a beautiful thing.
And you wrote a blog post about this that kind of went viral, right?
Yeah, I did.
Pretty
I
cool.
did. It was called My First 12 Months on Tinder. We'll put a link in the description below. And it was amazing because
it outlined all the many women that you plowed through. I mean, you went through in that 12 months, right?
You just like to stir, don't you? You love to stir.
Wow. So that must be an amazing thing. I mean, not every guy can do Tinder dating and have a lot of women to talk about.
Yeah, I think people don't appreciate people. You know, they have a fixed view, and then when they go out, it's like, for me, it's like exploring a new frontier. It's like, all right, let me understand your world, and let me play in your world for a little while. It doesn't have to be that I'm going to impose my view on you or see if your world matches my world. It's just more like, let me just get to know you. Let's just talk. Let's just. And you can play in mine, I can play in yours, or we can create a playground together.
Wow.
You know, so your world, my world, playground together. Or it's my world entering your world. Because sometimes that person doesn't want to enter my world, and that's okay. And what makes it interesting for me is that I just enter theirs and understand them from a deeper level.
So that's why you're so successful.
When you say successful, I just like to go out and meet people and have a good time.
You genuinely love people.
I genuinely love people.
That's
I
a great trait to have.
genuinely want to be interested in another person, human beings, what turns them on, what makes them passionate, genuinely.
Yeah. I noticed that about you as well.
Instead of just trying to get something from someone.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people go into a relationship trying to get instead of trying to give.
Right.
And I learned that the hard way, because I think in my last serious relationship, it was, I think I actually got more from that, and I probably didn't give. And I wouldn't say that. I should say I gave in a way that the other person didn't. I should have listened to her more and given her what she wanted, as opposed to give her what I think she wanted. You know? Like, really listened. And listening it's just from here. It's listening is with...
There as well. But it's a two-way communication, isn't it?
Absolutely.
The other party has to also communicate that, and I guess maybe it didn't happen.
Yeah, and look, it's a learning experience, so I think I don't beat myself up, and if you're listening to this, don't beat yourself up on any relationships where you've had learning experiences.
How do you get I mean, 8 years is a long time.
Yeah.
And when I met you, you were so positive already. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you did talk about it with a heavy heart, but also you got over it fairly quickly. I feel like
Yeah,
it's so positive.
I mean, I think
You
about
do
it.
that.
I think about it that that was a beautiful period of my life,
Yeah.
and I've enjoyed beautiful moments with my ex-wife, and I don't want to forget those moments.
Right.
I want to keep those moments. I want to remember those moments. I don't
Not
want
everyone has that mindset.
I don't want to tear down all those beautiful things, but I want
Yeah.
to tear down all the bad moments too.
Right.
The stuff that led to it and led up to it. Because why keep those bad memories?
That's true, right,
If I'm in my life, if I'm not creating a positive, empowering story, why have the story?
It's like people that have really bad breakups, and there was there would have been a point where they truly, really, really loved each other.
Yeah.
They can't keep their hands off away from each other.
Yes,
right? But
yes.
when after they break up and it's a really bad one, it's like, how can I have gone out with this guy? Or I hate this guy. I hate
Absolutely.
this guy's guts. I hate this bitch. She's a slut.
Yeah.
Or whatnot. But,
I think that's a powerful part of the healing process, though.
right.
I don't think it's like some people look upon it as negative, but sometimes that's what you need to heal. You need, as a person's strategy, they need to demonize the person that they actually loved in order to get over them. Because for them, sometimes it's them going, that person is no good anymore, that's why I don't want them. Rather than saying, you know what, things just didn't work out and we can just call it splits. Some people can't say that.
I see.
Whereas for me, I think I had the ability to say that, to say, you know what, she was on her own journey, I was on my own journey. Those journeys didn't seem to cross paths in the later
'cause it feels
stages,
like,
and
do
that's
you
why we
already
went on
have?
separate
Did
paths.
you do any training to get that? sort of
Yeah, so
philosophy?
dude, I have been listening to personal development for the last 10 years.
Oh, I see.
All about,
That's right.
so I went to Landmark. 2006 was when I did Landmark, and what I really realized from that, before I never had a girlfriend for about 3 years.
Right.
I used to date and then stop and date and stop and date and stop. And I always used to find something wrong with the woman.
you're
And
very
something.
picky.
It was her toe. It was because
Wow.
she talked funny.
Jeez.
She, whatever. It was something stupid that I used to pick on.
yeah.
And you'd be very short.
Very shallow.
I was very shallow. And they always used to come back and say one thing, Kresant. They'd be like, Kresant, why don't you open up to me? You know, tell me more about yourself. Because I was quite charismatic,
Yeah.
and I could carry the conversation and be
Yeah,
fun and
I see,
exciting.
I see.
But I never showed them who I really was.
You weren't vulnerable.
I wasn't vulnerable.
Right.
And and the thing that gives us connection is that vulnerability
Yeah,
with somebody else.
that's what creates the
You just
trust.
to lay down your shield, to put down your arms and say, hey, this is who I am.
Builds the
Love
comfort.
love me for who I am.
Yeah.
And a lot of people find it difficult to do that. I found it difficult.
People go through marriages without exposing their vulnerability or the vulnerable side. It's not until they realize they're not meant for each other, and that's why they hate they go. So they end up in divorce as well, right?
Yeah, I think so. So I think, and what I realized, this is a little lesson actually, I learned from Landmark education, massive impact on my life. They said, there is reality, something happens, and there's a story you tell yourself about reality. Something happens, you make it mean something. Something happens, you make it mean something.
Yeah.
So I made the fact that my parents had a divorce mean that commitment equals pain.
Yes.
I made the fact that my dad lost his job after 12 years, and I made that commitment equals pain.
Right.
So I had this thing around commitment, which was a vicious cycle, which reinforced. So when my first girlfriend left me,
Right.
it was like, oh my God, I committed to her, I was vulnerable. Shit, commitment equals pain.
Right.
When the second one moved away as well, it was like, oh my God, commitment equals pain. Every time I'm vulnerable and committed, it equals pain.
Yeah.
So I was never going to be vulnerable and committed again. I never wanted to be that person.
I got
So that's just,
This is good stuff. I mean, it's the kind of stuff that you would read and expect from personal development books, right?
Right.
Sort of like textbook ways of
Yeah.
treating the pain
yeah.
or changing your mindset. But for people that are watching this, they're not really into personal development. I'm sure some of you might even have researched Landmark. If you type Landmark on Google right now, there's going to be a lot of bad reviews on it.
A lot of good ones too, though.
And a lot of good ones, but some of you may not have had a good experience with them. But I don't feel that maybe it's not entirely Landmark that's changed your perception in being so positive?
Well, for the most recent thing was NLP that helped
okay.
help me with the
It's a
divorce and
combination
getting
of
over.
many personal
It's
development stuff, isn't it? Because
it's
you're
a
always
soup,
like
man.
if you know Kresant, he's got a library of books, and the guy reads it all. That's the first one. He's not like a poser or anything. I know people with really great, amazing, epic collection of books, but they probably only read like 2 or 3 from that collection. Kresant's actually, he buys them and reads them. That's great.
I read them. I read them. What a crazy concept.
That's a crazy concept. But
Yeah.
yeah, you must have spent like $10,000, $20,000.
I spent a lot of money. I spent a lot of money, and then we get a lot
books.
from secondhand
Yeah,
bookstores and
yeah.
stuff. Because people put it back onto eBay. They
Right.
put their personal development programs back on eBay because they don't actually read them or use them.
Yeah,
and then
that's
I
right.
get them at like 10%
Yeah,
of the
I'm
price.
guilty of that. So it's like what Ty Lopez says, books.
Yeah.
Here in my garage,
Yeah.
you know, in front of my Lamborghini, I've got books. Will Smith also said that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
2
Running and
secrets.
reading.
Running
He
and
goes
reading.
running and reading.
There's one reading. What did he say about reading? People out there that are much smarter than you have lived through it and wrote their
A book
secrets.
about it.
A book about it.
That's it.
So, read.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to talk about was, and where this came up was I did speed dating, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
I did speed
That's
dating
cool.
on Tuesday night, got 5 matches. Yes, that's right, I'm a sexy beast.
Whoa. The odds
yeah.
are well.
Yeah, yeah, it was
out
good.
Of 5 out of how many people
About
did you
9 or so.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Just
ticked 9.
So for those who aren't familiar with speed dating, it's sort of similar to Tinder, isn't it? Where you have to say yes, I like this girl, and the girl has to say yes as well for you to be a match.
That's it. So I was like, this was, yeah, it was pretty cool. 26 women, 4 minutes each.
Right.
Met some amazing women there. A lot of them, I would say, are fun and interesting. Not all of them, I would say, I'd be romantically inclined to date.
Oh, right. Why? Because it's not your cup of tea.
Well, you know, sometimes they say that, you know, in the first 8 seconds, you know whether...
Oh, right, yeah.
I've heard that, like psychologically, in the first 8 seconds...
You judge people.
You judge people, and you know whether you're going to have sex with them or not, you know? At least a woman does. A woman does. A
Yeah.
man, on the other hand, he'd probably have sex with...
Anyone.
Yeah,
Anything.
yeah. So, yeah, that's just... that was an interesting experience. But... it sparked something, which we're going to talk about in part 2 of this video. So stay tuned and couch talk
Are we
on the next
part two? Yeah,
episode.
part 2.
So we're going to go part 2.